The crypto networks are proving their worth as a neutral technology platform. We're seeing donations of both Bitcoin and Ether to the Ukraine. I think it's 50 million, if I'm not mistaken, in the last week.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have ARK Invest Cathie Wood discussing her outlook for the present bear market, as well as the influence that the stock and crypto markets are having on Bitcoin. Cathie will also discuss her financial prospects for the next few months, as well as whether or not there is an end in sight. Although Bitcoin is currently feeling the consequences of the current economic downturn, Cathie discusses other countries that are experiencing a currency crisis as well, and they haven't seen the worst of it. She believes that the current trajectory is merely a foreshadowing of what is to come. We'll take a look at her Bitcoin prediction as well as her investment thesis for the stock, crypto, and capital markets. Stay tuned to the end of the video to hear Cathie's predictions regarding the current market meltdown, recession, inflation, and the impact of interest rate hikes on financial markets. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
We believe what's happening in Russia and the Ukraine right now is turbocharging the shock to high valuation stocks that began last February when we were all getting vaccinated, and hopes were that the economy would continue to gain momentum. And so we now believe that Russia and Ukraine have turbocharged that shock and actually hopefully moved it into a period that is very cathartic and helps people understand that what's going on right now, from our point of view at least, is that the higher interest rates and higher inflation are acting like taxes on the system. And we've been talking for a while about this, about consumption slowing down dramatically. If you look at retail sales, and I'm talking about real retail sales, take out the inflation, and real consumption. We've seen a dramatic slowdown since October, and we are beginning to see inventories pile up. All of that is working out the way we expected it to. Our surprise is that many economists and strategists out there aren't putting two and two together. They're paying attention to other variables, which there is conflicting evidence, but they're paying attention to other variables that support their point of view. Because of what's going on right now, innovation is going to get another booster shot. It certainly accelerated many trends, and we think the higher costs associated with supply chain issues, and now even more so with Ukraine and Russia, that companies and consumers are going to turn to innovation, and that whatever our growth expectations for our companies were within the last year, they have just accelerated again, given this new crisis.
Cathie goes on to say that in certain countries, they don't want to have to depend on politicians to decide on monetary policy. Emerging markets are relying on digital currency, and Cathie believes that based on the current market outlook, decentralized finance will take over and usurp the roles of most financial services companies today. They'll be able to offer lower rates to savers and higher rates to borrowers.
The crypto networks are proving their worth as a neutral technology platform. We're seeing donations of both Bitcoin and Ether to the Ukraine. I think it's 50 million, if I'm not mistaken, in the last week. And we're also seeing Bitcoin as a currency hedge for Russian citizens who are watching the ruble get hammered here. And, you know, these are not the oligarchs. In fact, as we were discussing at our brainstorm today, there's not enough Bitcoin out there for the oligarchs to hedge, and they have been hedging for years anyway. This is for the average Russian citizen who actually is aghast, many of them, as we hear it, aghast at what's going on in Russia. Tesla is providing free supercharging In Poland, Poland's taking in, of course, a lot of refugees. And of course, we know that longer term, electric vehicles are going to help with the demand destruction of oil. I think the prices alone will destroy a lot of demand for oil and accelerate the shift to electric vehicles. And especially, we believe robo-taxis will be electric, and they'll be on the road 50 to 60% of the day. So that acceleration away from oil will happen as we move into the autonomous realm. We're seeing a lot of talk about renewables, especially nuclear, to reduce dependence on Russia. Of course, solar and wind, but I think nuclear is becoming less of a negative, even to some environmentalists who have studied it a little bit more carefully. We're seeing, of course, the social platforms providing real-time updates and providing, a glimpse into the horrors that are taking place there. And I think that has put a lot of pressure on financial institutions and others to boycott or stop doing business with Russia. It's terrible for the Russian citizens who do not want this invasion, but I think we've never seen the financial system used as such a weapon, and we'll see if it works. We also know about Starlink. I think the president of Ukraine reached out to Elon Musk and say, hey, we're being cut off out there. And of course, Elon sent Starlink to the rescue. So that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal that we can continue to communicate with these people. And again, everyone around the world can see the horror that Ukraine is experiencing. One of our fintech analysts has done, using Crunchbase, the Crunchbase database, it looks like while innovation stocks in the public markets have dropped, certainly pure play innovation, those that are not in the indexes. Those in the indexes are the innovation stocks in the indexes tend to be a little more old world. We even see from Meta platforms, formerly Facebook, that the once disruptor is being disrupted. But if you look at the non-benchmark innovation stocks, you'll see that they're down 60, 70%. So it's a replay of the COVID crisis. And as we said back then, innovation solves problems. And I'll say it again because it is true. What we're seeing the private world do is actually move into up rounds over the last 20 years. The last year, the average up round has been 20%. So down 60% in the public markets, up 20% in the private markets. And we think the private markets have gotten the plot and corroborate our point of view, and truth will win out.
Cathie Wood says that ARK makes all of its research readily accessible to the public, providing her customers with clarity they can't get elsewhere in the market. She also stated that the investment group will continue to release its financial framework because the traditional banking industry doesn't deserve shareholders of innovation. Wood advises the company in which she invests to spend heavily now in order to take advantage of huge growth potential. She estimates that ARK's concentration on technology advancement is worth about $7 to $8 trillion, or less than 10% of global equities markets. What do you think of Cathie Wood's interview on the current financial market, her outlook for Bitcoin, and what's to come for this year? Comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.